Welcome back to Going Walkabout. We're currently living in Playa del Carmen. It's a beach city located within the Riviera Maya, which runs from south of Cancun to Tulum. The beach city is a popular tourist destination. In 2016, it was the 10th most popular destination for U.S. travelers. According to Guinness World Records, it's one of Latin America's fastest growing communities. All this with white sand beaches to stick your toes in the sand and turquoise blue waters to caress your body. In this video, we'll explore this Mexican beach city and answer the question, can you live in paradise on a budget? To start with, we'll go over a brief history of the playa, logistics, and climate. Then we'll tackle current-day Playa del Carmen, where to grocery shop, things to do, and how to get around the town. Lastly, we'll show you our condo and explain some must-haves for living here, as well as our expenses. Playa del Carmen was a sleepy fishing village up to the 1980s. Tourism began with the passenger ferry service to Cozumel, which is an island just off the coast of the playa. This area of the playa remains one of the key areas to this day. More on this later. To get to this paradise today, the easiest way is a flight into Cancun International Airport. From there, you can take a taxi, Uber, or bus to Playa del Carmen, which should be about an hour away. With a population of about 300,000, Playa del Carmen has a tropical savanna climate. June to November receive most of the rain, however, the temperatures stay pretty warm all year long, with November's highs of about 88 to 92 and lows in the 60s. At night, April through October is a little bit higher, with highs in the 90s and lows in the 70s at night. As with many other Mexican cities, Playa del Carmen feels very safe. I've actually done a deep dive video on Is Mexico Dangerous, and I would ask you to have a look at that, and you'll get an idea of how safe the country is on a whole, and then certainly some other smaller city. Spanish is the main language in Playa del Carmen. However, we have found that many of the locals speak a good amount of English. I would recommend that you learn some Spanish phrases just to be respectful to the local folks. Current-day Playa del Carmen is a busy port city. Set up in a grid pattern, it is easy to navigate. The main place to stroll is Fifth Avenue. It is 3 miles long and full of shops and restaurants, bars, coffee shops. As it is closed to traffic, you can feel safe as you look into the shops or stop for a coffee or ice cream. There are literally hundreds of restaurants in the area, some grand and some elaborate taco trucks. We have found all types of food, as well as French, Italian, Indian, and of course, Mexican. There are also many vegan restaurants, and most places have gluten-free options as well. On Fifth Avenue, they also have a few shopping malls. Quinta Alegre is one we like. All the malls we have visited are air-conditioned, so a good escape from the midday heat. You'll find many of the familiar shops you may see in North America, as well as the ubiquitous Starbucks. If we switch directions on Fifth Avenue and walk away from the ferry dock towards Avenue 42, we find a less hectic scene. This part of Fifth Avenue has a walking path on one side and a bike path on the other side. If you want to get away from the vendors, this area is perfect. There's beautiful wall art and some quaint, quiet cafes. There is lots to do in Playa del Carmen. You can talk to the local tour companies. They have people selling tours all along Fifth Avenue, or you can use Viator. Of course, there's also the ferry, which has numerous trips daily to and from Cozumel. Tickets can be booked online at Bookway. As for buying food, the closest supermercado to use is the Chedwari Selecto. We have found Chedwari stores to be very comprehensive. They have a good bakery or panderia, an extensive wine and alcohol area, good fruit and veg, and even an area for those wanting vegan, gluten-free, or health supplements. A more extensive wine selection can be found at La Europa, which is in the Quinta Alegre Mall. This is a Spanish nationwide chain of liquor stores. And if you really want fresh local fruit and veg, go to the corner of 10th and 42nd and you'll find some of the best produce we have ever seen. Plus, they do juices. A bottle of fresh squeezed mango would be about $7 US. The same thing in the United States where we used to live would have been about $21. Hopefully you can see through this video that you can pack light. The temperatures are high, however, there's a nice breeze off the ocean that cools things down. As in many Mexican cities, good footwear is a must. You don't really need a car in Playa del Carmen, but you need to be prepared to walk quite a bit. We clock about 4 miles a day. Lastly, we'll hit on the beaches. While they are visually stunning, they do have some challenges, erosion being top of the list. It's worth doing a deep dive on where you plan to stay if there is a beach adjacent. Also, the whole of the Yucatán has to deal with a plague of sargasso seaweed. It gets worse in the summer, and while they have crews to clean it up, it can affect the area you may want to stay in. The grass can get smelly and attract pests. It's worth doing some due diligence and reading reviews ahead of time before you plan your stay. Here we are at the last section of accommodation and budget. Our home is on 42nd, 2 blocks down from 5th Avenue. We're about 3 blocks from the ocean. The condo is small, basically a great room with fan, air conditioning. If you're renting, check and make sure you have these things because you'll need them. We like a full kitchen, which this has, minus a dishwasher. The rental company also supplied this clean water and pump, which is also something that we use a lot and is pretty important because you can't drink the tap water. If we take the elevator up to the 7th floor, we have access to a small gym, pool with views of the city, and the ocean. The price for this condo is $88 a night for 36 nights, so it came to about $3,000 for 5 weeks, which fit affordably into our budget. We got this rental via Airbnb, which we like to use and have had success with over the last 3 years thus far. I've done a video on how to best use Airbnb to get success. Have a look at that if you want more info. You may also want to look into Kasai website. They have many options as well, from apartments to homes. Currently, we are spending about 6,000 pesos a week for groceries, which is about $300 US. That may sound like a lot, but we eat in 3 meals a day, and that includes alcohol. As a price comparison, we went to breakfast the other day and had 2 huevos divorciados and 2 cervezas. It came to $25 US with the tip. The same breakfast in our hometown city with coffee instead of cerveza would have been $70. Hopefully you have found this information on Playa del Carmen helpful. Please leave your comments below and feel free to ask questions. I try to answer all the comments. Thanks so much for watching the video. If you've enjoyed it, giving us a like or a thumbs up would be greatly appreciated. Or, as I always say, better yet, subscribe. We do a new video every week. Thanks again, and cheers for now.